Hey guys, how's it going? Welcome back to my channel, Gardening in Cold Spring Harbor. For those of you who are new to my channel, I'm in Long Island, New York, Zone 7A. Beautiful, warm, sunny spring day is in the air today. And I'm so excited, guys, because today I get to finally plant my pre-sprouted dahlias in my home garden. It's been so overdue, guys. By this time in May, my dahlias are usually already planted in my home garden. But this year, we've had night temperatures in the upper 40s until now. So I'm so excited to show you today exactly how I plant my pre-sprouted dahlias in my home garden. Now guys, come with me, let's get gardening. If you're looking for that online gardening channel that gives you tips, tricks, and just easy yet proven gardening advice to bring your home garden to that next level, then stick around, guys. You're absolutely in the right place. Start with clicking the subscribe button below. And if you never want to miss any of my new upcoming videos, also click the bell icon. YouTube will notify you every single time I will upload a new gardening video. Now let's get started. We pre-sprouted these dahlias together with you guys in one of my previous videos where I talk all about how to select dahlia tubers, how to properly position them in the soil, looking for that eye, and how to get your pre-sprouted sprouting process going. For those of you who are interested in seeing that video, who are unfamiliar with the pre-sprouting process of dahlia flowers, that video is still available on my channel. As you could see, my dahlias pre-sprouted just beautifully. And again, this year, this one is getting way too tall as it's way overdue to be transplanted. But finally today, I'm going to plant these guys in my home garden. As you could see, most of my dahlia tubers have not only pre-sprouted, some are showing very little sprouts still, some are showing a bit larger ones, some are taller, and some are just very big, tall, and obviously are way overdue for transplanting. But today is the day. So I have 37 dahlia tubers to transplant today into my home garden, which successfully pre-sprouted and began to grow. But then I have more over here also doing well. But then unfortunately I did have a few which did not sprout and did not grow. So I placed them right over here in this tray just to show you guys. So we have 2, 4, 6, 8, 9 tubers which did not pre-sprout. As you could see, the tuber was right over here. No green leaves, no eyes, no leaves, nothing. Same thing with all of these. You could see here was my tuber and nothing took off. And no guys, they're not all of the same variety. I guess some were just not viable in those packs that I purchased. Here I have the Kevin floodlights, just an example. Here is what? Here another Kevin floodlights. I guess that was not a good variety. Creme de Cassis. Let's see over here, the Bora Bora. Basically, they're random varieties. I guess one or more tubers did not take off. But remember, guys, this is exactly why I personally recommend and pre-sprout myself all of my corms and my tubers, because this way you will know, you will get a head start on growing your gorgeous flowers. You can start them inside, indoors, pre-sprout them, and this way you will know exactly which ones are alive, viable, will do great in your home garden, and which ones were dead, from the get-go. So now I just want to quickly show you guys what we started with when I purchased these dahlia tubers and how they are progressing to the point where they are now. Here you go. These are dahlia tubers. This is what we started out with. These are the way they come in a package when you purchase them from a nursery or a garden center. Looks like nothing much at all, but this guy, as it starts to grow, will turn into a gorgeous, gorgeous dahlia flower. Here is what the first stage of pre-sprouting looks like, guys. You could see this little green bud over there. So basically this tuber was alive, doing well, and started to pre-sprout. This is the Lavender Perfection variety. This is just the very, very beginning. The next stage is this, where this green little bud gets to be a bit taller. This is the Pine Lawn Princess variety. You could see it's getting to be taller. Next is something like this, where your sprout gets even taller than this. It grows higher, taller. Nice green leaves. And then you have something like this, where this guy is really, really tall. And by the way, when I'll be transplanting this one, I'll definitely be using a stake already, as this guy is getting way, way too tall to be growing without the support. And this is the Fringed Star Elite variety. So here you go, guys. You start with this and slowly get to this. I would say that when your tubers get to about this point, this would be ideal size to transplant your dahlia flowers. This is way, way overgrown. But again, this year we did have lower air temperatures, night temperatures, than we usually do in May. And remember, dahlias are warm weather loving flowers. They will struggle and not do well if you plant them outside when your night temperatures are below 60, or if I want to push it, maybe 55 degrees. But no lower than that, guys. They will not grow for you. Here you go, guys. We are in my south side garden to transplant my pre-sprouted dahlia flowers. So why did I choose this location, this side of my home? Because this area gets the most amount of sunlight per day, 8+ hours of direct sunlight per day. And remember, guys, again, dahlias love sunlight. They love warm, hot weather. Love it, love it. So honestly, I don't know how much growth I'm going to get out of them this year, because again, I'm transplanting them a little later than I typically do. So we will see. But today is the day, guys. I have to put them in the ground today. Why? Because in the fall, I will have to dig up those tubers in order to properly store them for the winter season. I am in zone 7A, and dahlias cannot tolerate our cold winters, so they have to be dug up and properly stored over the winter season in order to be replanted once again next spring. So let me now show you exactly what you need to plant your dahlias. The process is actually very, very simple. All you need are, of course, your pre-sprouted dahlia tubers. I'm going to be using Biotone starting fertilizer today, guys. And you do need some kind of a compost when you're planting or transplanting dahlias. So in this garden, I have over 12 inch of compost already in my soil. So I will not be adding any additional compost today. However, I will be amending my soil, my composted soil with Biotone starter fertilizer. For those of you who are not familiar with this product, it's by Espoma Organics, and I will link it below in the comment section for those of you who are interested in purchasing this. Of course, I'm going to need my gardening gloves and some sort of an auger or a shovel, which I have over here. So now let me show you exactly how I plant my dahlias. So guys, if you are transplanting your dahlias and they are on the shorter side, then you can wait to put your stakes or your T-posts. However, again, mine are a little overdue, a bit overgrown, so I do want to give them that support immediately. So I also got my stakes out, my Velcro tape out. This is special Velcro brand tape that I use for my roses, my tomatoes, my dahlia flowers, and my pruning shears to cut this Velcro. So of course, I will not be staking the tiny little sprouts just yet. Those can wait to be staked, but the taller ones, I am concerned about the rain, the wind, and I don't want to break their stems, so I will be staking them in the ground immediately as soon as I transplant them. So planting dahlias, the process of transplanting or planting the tubers is actually very, very simple. So all you need is a shovel of some sort or a drill and an auger, and of course your dahlia tubers. So you basically dig a hole. I like to plant mine in a straight row. So the hole has to be between 4 to 6 inches deep. And depending on the varieties of dahlia that you have, you should space them about 12 inches apart. So again, hole has to be 4 to 6 inches deep, spacing 12 inches apart. And once you dig up your hole, I like to amend it with the Biotone Organic Starter Fertilizer. So I'm going to start over here and I'm going to start digging my holes. For those of you who do have a drill and an auger, I'm sure the process will be much, much easier. But I actually prefer to do things the old-fashioned way, guys. I like to use a hand shovel, because this way I know exactly what I'm doing. I say this is perfect depth. I take a little bit of the Biotone and I sprinkle it like so. So this is the duet variety, and I will be keeping my tags over here so I will not mix them up, so I will remember for next growing year what each variety looks like. Now I diligently pull out the tuber, guys, look at those roots, guys. Beautiful, beautiful. So I gently pulled it out of this 1 gallon size container. And now I position it into my hole like so, guys. And then I basically backfill it. Remember, if your soil does not have any compost in it, you should also add compost at the time of the planting. But again, mine did, so all I added was the Biotone. But perfect. You could go a little extra, one more step, and just sprinkle a little bit Biotone around and kind of rake it in, mix it in with your fingers like so. 1 dahlia has been planted. And I keep moving the next direction. Next hole. Again, 4 to 6 inches deep, you guys. So the process is actually very Biotone. Next one, the variety is Arabian Nights. So this size, I will not be staking just yet. I will be saving the stakes for later. Here, gently, you hold on to the tuber and you gently take it out. Look at the roots. Very nice. I position it in my hole. Be very gentle, you guys, and you back fill it with your soil like so. And you keep going, guys, until each of your dahlias have been planted. Give it a little tap, a little love tap is what I like to call it. And again, I go one extra step and sprinkle some starter on top. One more trick or very important advice is when you're just planting your tubers, let's say you are trying to pre-sprout them and you just place them into your containers, or maybe you don't like to pre-sprout your tubers and you would rather put them directly into your home garden. When you just plant your tubers, which are not pre-sprouted, remember not to water or water as little as possible. Why? Because watering tubers which are not pre-sprouted can potentially cause them to rot before they even sprout. Once you see a small little sprout appear, that green little bud, that is when you should start to regularly water your tubers. So whether they're directly planted into the ground without the pre-sprouting, or whether you're planting them in a container for the process of pre-sprouting, start to regularly water your dahlia only when you see that green little bud, the pre-sprouting bud appear. So today, after I'm gonna be done planting all of my dahlias, I will diligently water my dahlia flowers. As I'm planting more of my dahlias, I'm starting to realize which varieties did or are doing great in my home, in my gardening zone. So I see that Douai variety. This is the third one I'm already transplanting, which means that these tubers, this variety, took off and is doing great versus some other varieties. Another variety which seems to be doing great in my gardening zone is the Arabian Nights. This is the second Arabian Nights which I'm transplanting, and remember, each pack came with about 3 tubers. So with the Douai, all 3 pre-sprouted. So 1, 2, 3. And this is the second Arabian Night tuber, and I just wanted to show you the intense root system. So I just gently took it out of this container, and I just quickly wanted to show you how big the root system got. This is why it is doing so well. Look how nice and green and tall this plant is. So this is the Arabian Nights. My transplanting process is indeed coming along. I have quite a few dahlias that are already transplanted, but one more thing I noticed as I was about to plant the next variety. So this is the Lavender Perfection, and I just wanted to show you something interesting. Look how many green buds. So this one didn't just pre-sprout with one little eye. This variety is giving me multiple green sprouts. So don't just think that you can have one plant, one skinny little stalk. You can have 2 stalks coming out of tuber or multiple. This one I'm counting 1, 2, 3, 4. I'm counting 4 separate plant stalks. So this looks like it's a very, very full and a very good variety. Lavender Perfection. We'll see what kind of beautiful flowers this will give me. Just a quick reminder, guys, for those of you who are interested in growing dahlias at home in your home garden, but maybe you guys are afraid, maybe you guys have questions, unanswered questions, maybe you guys are afraid that something will go wrong and you won't succeed. Yes, guys, you will all succeed, and you all are able to grow gorgeous, beautiful dahlias in your home garden. I still have a video on my channel where I show you exactly step by step how to pre-sprout dahlia tubers in reusable 1-gallon size containers. I give you tips, tricks, and just easy instructions on how to pre-sprout your dahlia tubers inside, indoors, prior to transplanting them outside. Check out that video, guys, if you still have not seen it. That video should answer all of your dahlia growing questions. So here I finally came across to a dahlia that is way overdue for transplanting. Look how tall this one is. It's at least 1.5 feet tall, but look what happens, guys. It plops right down, which is exactly why, guys, this flower, this plant needs some support, some help. And how do you offer help? You stake it, or you use a T-post, which is, so this plant is too tall. And you see what happens? There's no rain, there's no wind. This is just from being too tall. So imagine what can happen if it rains or you guys are experiencing strong winds. You are just bound to break the stem of this flower, and you do not want to do that. So this is an example of when to get your stakes and your Velcro tapings out and help support your dahlia flower. Here you go, guys. I right away placed my 3-foot stake over here right next to my plant, and I have my plant Velcro tape. By the way, I got this one at Home Depot for those of you who are interested. It's a big, look at this big roll, and it wasn't much. I believe it was around $4 here at my local Home Depot, but I've been using this for a while. I've used it with my tomatoes, with my gladioli, with my peppers even sometimes. And this just great. And my roses, climbing roses, this gives the plant lots of support without damaging, scratching, or breaking their branches or their stems. So this is a good brand. So I cut off 2 pieces, and now I'm just going to gently, like so, give my dahlia plant the support that it so direly needs. Here you go, guys. For now, this is all that this particular plant needs. As you could see, I put one closer to the top and one Velcro piece. I wrapped it closer to the middle, and the bottom, as you could see, is pretty supported. So as this plant starts to grow or branch out, I will continue to offer it more support, and I will adjust the Velcro accordingly. I might add more Velcro. I might retape it in different places. So I'll see how this plant progresses and grows. But for now, this is just enough. This is just the perfect support that my plant needs. So here's something interesting that I discovered, guys, as I was gently taking out the tubers. So this looks like it's the Vancouver variety. So as I was getting ready to place it into its growing hole, as you could see, it's definitely coming along. The first row is complete, and I'm working on my second row of dahlia. Remember, together I had 37 tubers of different varieties that pre-sprouted. So look, guys, looks like initially I placed 3 tubers in here, 3. But only, see these 2, this one pre-sprouted. These 2 did not. So these 2 were not viable. What's interesting, I placed 3 and only 1 pre-sprouted. And guess what, guys? It's okay. This will still become a beautiful Vancouver variety dahlia flower. So that is why sometimes it makes sense to not separate your tubers, to grow them as that one larger clump. Because as you could see, just because you placed 3 doesn't mean all 3 pre-sprouted. So if you would have just cut it, separated the tuber, and just maybe planted this one because this one seemed bigger to you, thicker, doesn't mean that the bigger one would be the one that would sprout. As you could see, it's actually the smaller one that pre-sprouted in this instance. So I will discard of these two as they're clearly not viable. And this one I will plant right now in my home. And I will place the label so I'll remember exactly which variety this is. I'm so proud of myself today, guys. I am all done transplanting 37 Dahlia tubers. I feel so happy and so accomplished today. And the weather is absolutely beautiful. Right now it's in the mid 70s and the sun is shining. And I'm just enjoying, loving getting my hands all dirty. So let me show you. Here you go, guys. All 37 pre-sprouted Dahlia tubers are in my south side garden. I have actually planted 2 rows. I kept the label for each one because as it grows, I want to make sure I see which one is doing better than others, which one looks like what. As you could see, I staked this one and I staked this one so far, but my whole row, 2 rows, are all done. And again, I used Biotone starter fertilizer inside my hole and I sprinkled some outside around each of the plants. I'm thinking about staking actually this one too because it looks like it's kind of tall, so I'm worried about this one. Yeah, I think I'm going to stake this one right now as well. Before I let you guys go, there are 2 more pieces of tips or advice that I want to share with you in regards to growing Dahlia. So your Dahlia has now sprouted and it's growing. So once it gets to be about a foot tall in height, 12 inches, I advise you guys to pinch your Dahlia in the middle by about 3 inches. So your plant is 12 inches tall. You open up the leaves like so. You find the center piece over here and you would pinch it off or you would cut it off. How will this help your Dahlia plant? Well, some plants just do better. They become wider, bushier, thicker. They produce better, larger flowers when you pinch them. So all you do is you either use your fingernails or pruning shears or scissors and you cut this middle stem, this little piece, by 3 inches, guys. No, you're not hurting your Dahlia plant. In fact, you're helping. This will give you a thicker, denser plant. So it's not going to be stringy, thin, and just grow upwards. It'll start to produce more branches, grow outwards, and you will have flowers much larger in size when you pinch your plants. So one more piece of advice, guys, that I want to share with you when it comes to growing Dahlias is when you are growing them as a cut flower. Let's say you want to cut your Dahlias and place them into your vase inside your home for that beautiful, beautiful fragrance, that beautiful, pop of color. They're not going to open up much more after you cut them. So I suggest when picking which flower to cut off of your Dahlia plant, pick the flowers that are larger and more open. Again, do not pick those flowers that are spent already, meaning they're about to die, they're gonna lose their petals. But don't pick the tiny little, flimsy little bulbs thinking that once you place it in a vase, it's going to open up more for you. No, guys. Let the flowers grow on your Dahlia plant until you are happy with how large and how much they have opened up for you. That is when you cut your Dahlia flower off and place it in a vase with nice, fresh, cold water. And Dahlias do have a pretty stable, pretty long, pretty good vase life. If you do change that water consistently and keep it clean, they could keep staying fresh for you, staying nice and bright and in full bloom for you in your vase for over a week, guys. So remember, choose wisely which flowers you're gonna cut off of your dahlia plants. This is it for this video, you guys. Thank you so much for joining me here on this beautiful, warm, almost hot actually, spring day in Long Island, New York. Gardening Zone 7A. Today, you guys helped me transplant 37 of my dahlia tubers over here in my south side garden. I gave you all the tips, all the tricks, and all the easy yet proven advice that you need in order to transplant and grow your dahlia flowers from tubers. If you guys enjoyed watching this video, if you found this video to be helpful, useful, informative, show me that support, guys. Click thumbs up. So easy for you to do, and it's so pleasing and rewarding to me. Leave your comments below. Tell me everything about your home gardens. Tell me, guys, do you grow dahlias? Have you transplanted your dahlias yet? And if you haven't yet done so, do so today, guys. Subscribe to my channel, Gardening in Cold Spring Harbor. Click the bell icon. YouTube will notify you every time I will upload a new gardening video. Thank you so much again. Thank you for joining me. Stay healthy, happy, and just be well, guys. And I'll see you again in my next upcoming gardening video. Bye, guys.